Good morning and welcome to another presentation of the Silentsports video blog. This is episode 209. Today's date is November 12th, 2022. Thank you for watching this morning. I'm Troy West and thank you always for the support right here on the Silentsports Gaming channel. Like I said, I've been loving the support all throughout my social media outlets. They will all be in the description where we done this video today. Sorry about the apologies for the late start today. My boss was late to relieve me, so I couldn't leave to do the video. I usually would have been probably close to being done by now. It's already past 9:30, so the video probably don't post to about maybe an hour from now, maybe about 10:30ish. Definitely still look out for it. Well, if you're watching this right now, of course you found it. But thank you so much for the support to my YouTube family as well, all my loyal subscribers. I appreciate all you guys. Today's video should be kind of short, not much to talk about. No baseball news really to talk about that's significant, so we ain't gonna talk about baseball today. So I know some people are happy about that. So we gonna get into some NBA news, my up and down segment. We're gonna do that. We're gonna talk a little about Kyrie Irving. I'm gonna try to get a little bit deeper into it. I touched on it last week, but I'm gonna give pretty much my full thoughts on the whole situation for what I know and for my side. So we're gonna talk about that this morning. My up and down segment, if you don't know what that means, I picked a couple teams that I think is trending up throughout the week and teams that trended down throughout the week. So we're gonna go do that, and then of course all week 10 NFL week 10, all my picks and predictions for this week. We'll talk a little bit about Josh Allen. He's hurt. Not sure if he's gonna play tomorrow or not. It's up in the air what his injury is, but I give my thoughts on what I think the Bills should do about that, and then just some final thoughts where the channel's going, my new projects, God of War Ragnarok, which I might just go ahead and do a video of that when I'm done here. NBA 2K23. Like I said, my PlayStation sucks. My PS4, I got the old model with the 500 gigs, which is not barely nothing. So I've been having to move some games around. I had to delete my Madden. Even though this ain't the week I usually do my sports, I usually don't, because tomorrow's Sunday. I work. This is my Sunday that I work, so I don't do no content on Sundays pretty much at all anyway. But I don't know. I gotta fit that back in. I got God of War Ragnarok, so that's gonna be probably the most videos you see of. You probably see a few Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 videos as well thrown in there in between. Sonic Origins is I had to even let that go, delete that to make room for the stuff I got on here now. So but I'm gonna still do some more Sonic Origins projects, because that's really been my bread and butter, where a lot of people have really been watching. So but we'll talk about all that at the end of the video. Let's go ahead and get into the blog this week. NBA, Kyrie Irving, of course everybody knows what's going on with him. It all started with his tweet. I think it's been about 2 weeks now, tweeting well, I don't like using the word promote, but basically recommending this book, I guess I would use that word, that a little controversial, talk about blacks and Jews, the whole story about blacks could have been the first Jews, all that stuff. I ain't gonna get into that really, but the situation itself to me is really starting to get out of hand. I think I saw some type of list that Kyrie had to comply by, like he had to do this training and do all this stuff. He donated money to the cause and all this other stuff. But he got on IG this week, which is a video that's going around viral as well, basically just ratting and basically speaking his truth. Now whatever you want to say about Kyrie Irving off the court, things of that nature, he's a great player, so that's not a question at all. Maybe his reliability, some people's annoyed with that, which I get it. You expect him to play as much as he can, help your team win. I really still believe in the Brooklyn Nets. I think somehow they're going to figure this out. I'm still going to pick them to come out the East. I'm not going to back off that pick yet. But the man, it's more to life than just basketball. I think some of us fans, including myself, he forgets that. Like, this man is standing for what he believes in. I respect that. I think the NBA, well, all sports leagues I don't like. Just like in the NFL, they do it all the time. They try to go off how the crowd is reacting to this. And, well, maybe the people I talk to, I think some people, you know, now in the media, it seems like he's the worst person in the world right now. But like when I talk to other people, regular people, they don't see the big deal now. Like I said, I told my story last week about Jews. I definitely have no problem with Jews. I used to work for a Jewish hospital here in Baltimore, so I have no problem. They're good people. They stick together. I know that. They're good people. You know, I told my little story when I was a kid. I walked through the Jewish neighborhood here in Baltimore. You know, and I don't live too far from them now. But I don't, like I said, it's common sense. I'm gonna just use the word common sense. Common sense would tell you Kyrie wasn't hating on another race or have hate when he posted that on Twitter or whatever it was. People just like it's all a media thing. It's all a media thing. Just want to make a big deal out of nothing, like, you know. And then, you know, he's just controversial already. You know, he didn't take the vaccine. That was a big deal to some people. He just always been a rebel. He always been his own man, and maybe to a fault. You know, especially on the basketball court. You know, everybody bringing that up. You know, Cleveland, him leaving LeBron. I didn't understand that at the time either, but you know, at the same time, you know, sometimes you want to grow. I think, you know, you want to be your own man. So he went to Boston. That didn't work out. But now he's in Brooklyn. Things ain't been great there either, but I respect him for just standing on his own 2 feet, and being confident of who he is and looking out for the people. He looks out for people. Everybody don't talk about the good things that he do off the court. The money he donated to the WNBA, things he do behind the scenes with the black community and everything else. And me being a black man, I definitely respect that. I just hope this day blow over, they let him come back. Now I'm starting to see some stuff in the media that people starting to walk back their statements now, that he's been treated too harshly already. But it was you was the ones that was treating him harsh, so I don't get it. Now, like I said, the book, I don't know, I haven't read the book. Basically, the big thing, everybody taking out the book, probably one little piece of the book, that whoever wrote this book basically said the Holocaust don't exist, or it didn't exist. So I get now that part. Yes, that's crazy for anybody to say that. But like I said, Kyrie is not, you know, he already said I don't agree with everything is in the book. So I think people should just let this go. But you know how this is going to linger, you know, even if he comes back and play. The media still going to ask about it. But like I said, I like what he did when when he talked to the media before the suspension. He was clear. He was saying, you know, to me he was clear. But you know, some people just, you know, some people will hate you, some people will love you. That's just the way life works. But I respect him standing alone and standing what he believes in. Yes, as a basketball fan, I want to see him on the court more. I like seeing him play. Like, don't get me wrong, I would love to see him play. But you gotta let a man be a man. You gotta let people stand on their own 2 feet. And I definitely understand that. The things I'm going through now, where you gotta rely on anybody else to do something for you, it sucks. And that's sort of off topic, but I'm just saying he thinks for himself, and that's great. Like, you know, everybody should have a mind of their own. You shouldn't just go with the flow all the time. Like, trust me, it's not something you should do. So that's my thoughts on it. Hopefully he comes back, and I think it's been 5 games already, but I think they try to make him comply with all this other stuff. We talked to Adam Silver. They said that went well, as far as what I heard in the media. So I think he's you know, suffered enough. He losing endorsements left and right. I think Nike basically said they done with him over that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, it just sucks for him. But I respect him, and I'm glad that he takes stands that he does. You know, To me, that makes you look human. You know, you don't feel like he's above anybody else. You know, he has his beliefs. Like I said, I have my religious beliefs. People don't understand. I'm grateful for the man. So I wish him luck. Hopefully this will blow over, but I know it ain't no time soon. Especially if Brooklyn, if he comes back and Brooklyn loses, because they already seen the stat. I already seen the stat yesterday. I think it's probably through ESPN that the Nets defense been better since he been out. So they're gonna push that narrative, you know. But then the last thing I heard was, now that I remember, Brooklyn going on a road trip. I don't think they come back home till next Sunday, which is the 20th of November. So they say he's probably gonna miss this road trip. But I got a feeling if Brooklyn wins and then they let him come back, and then they start losing again, or maybe the defense slips again, the media is gonna flip it. So but we'll see. So we'll probably be talking about this again next week as well. We'll see how more things develop. But that's my main stand on. I think honestly, I don't think he should have got suspended. You know, I don't think he should have got suspended. He already, well, I mean, I don't think they sort of made him do that donation, but he already donated 500 grand. I think that was good enough, and he apologized. I think that was good enough. Just leave him alone, or go read the book yourself. See, that's another thing. I don't know nothing about this book. I'm only going off what somebody else told me. But all these people that were outraged probably didn't read the book, or didn't even sniff the book. So that's why I didn't really want to go into this deep about it. I don't know nothing about the book. I'm just going off what the media said, that this is in the book and this and this and that. But it's a book, so, you know. But anyway, I just hope they let him come back. But like I said, I think they said they're gonna go ahead and go on this road trip, and then when they come home on the 20th here, that's when they probably will return. But we'll see. Things could change between now and then. Alright, so let's move on. Let's get on to our up and down segment. The week teams I think that should be trended up, teams that is trended up, teams that is trended down, in my opinion. Let's start positive first. Let's start up. In the East, I got the Boston Celtics. Quietly, the Boston Celtics playing some good basketball. They probably still going through some things behind the scenes as well with Coach Udoka, and he probably was about to go to the Nets, which is now squashed. They hired Jock Vaughn, which I think deserved the job. I think the players like Jock. I think he will fit in with Brooklyn, but yeah, Boston been playing some good basketball. Quietly, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum still growing as young players. So Boston's still a force to be reckoned with in the East. So don't sleep on them, even though Milwaukee's still playing well, even though they got some injuries now. They lost last night again to the Spurs, which we're going to talk about soon. Washington Wizards in the East as well. Got them on here. They playing pretty well quietly. Kyle Kuzma playing good basketball. Wizards, if you look at their roster, they don't have a bad roster. It's just, will it fit together? So I think the Wizards will be pesky all year long. So I got them on the up part of the list here. In the West, I still got the Jazz. The Jazz are playing unbelievable. I barely could name two guys on the team. I know Mike Conley there, but after him, I really don't. Jordan Clarkson, Marketing, I think he came from Chicago. He's playing good basketball, I heard too. But the Jazz, you didn't expect them to be this good this soon. Losing Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. They 10-3. They're the best record in the Western Conference right now. So maybe they'll come back down to earth a little bit. But until then, they're going to be on my list every week until, you know, what we think going to happen is going to happen. But they've definitely been the biggest surprise this season. Okay, let's go to the down part of the list. In the East, I got the Miami Heat. Just like I said, I think now teams starting to figure them out as far as offense. Like offensively, they're not that good. Jimmy Butler's pretty much the only consistent offensive player, and I said that last year. So that's why I didn't believe. Honestly, I thought they was gonna lose before they got to the Eastern Finals. But Jimmy Butler, they need somebody else to step up. Victor Oladipo, hopefully he can turn the corner. I think Bam just gotta be more aggressive for offense. I think he's a decent offensive player. Now Tyler Hero, I think he's streaky. I said that he's good, but he's streaky. You know, you don't got no consistency on the offensive. Now defensively, they can play with anybody, and I think that's what evens them out. And they probably figured out is the Heat. The Heat organization is just as good as any organization in sports, let alone basketball. So, yeah, they're not playing too well right now to me. So I got them on the down list. In the West, I got the Spurs, even though they had a big win last night against the Milwaukee Bucks, what I just mentioned. They started off hot, but then they got back cold. But another team that I didn't put on the list that I didn't realize till this morning that I should have put on here is the Minnesota Timberwolves. They've been a disappointment. But like I said, I really think to a certain extent they missed Patrick Beverley. I think Patrick Beverley would keep them disciplined. I'm not saying they're not a disciplined team, but I think having somebody that on that team helps you, you know, keeps you competitive, keep you, you know, hungry to play hard, you know. And I'm not saying they're not playing hard either, but I'm just saying these little intangibles is probably the reason why, you know, they lost again last night to Memphis. Only scored 40 points in the second half. But they're a young team, so like I said, they'll figure it out. Like I said, Karl Anthony Towns, to me, he's a great player, but he's sort of like Kevin Durant in a way. Like he could be your best player, but he's not quite your leader, you know. So that could be an issue. Like I said, Rudy Gobert, you know, he's just really their defensive back. Like on paper, they're a great team, but they got to put it together. So I got them on my down list as well, even though I didn't write it down. But I noticed they've been struggling a little bit. So that's it with the NBA news this week. Thank you so much for going through that with me. Can't wait till Christmas. That's when the games really start to come on television. And you know, you can some people argue like the Lakers, like other teams that should be on this. I'm like, no, Brooklyn. I was like, nah, they, you know what they are. So I think Brooklyn go and turn it around. I think the Lakers can, but I don't know, you know. But we'll see. Maybe they'll be on the list next week, you know. Or you give me some recommendations who you think should be on these lists, and maybe I'll consider it. All right, let's move on to the NFL. NFL Week 10. Let me pull up the schedule here as we go through our picks as well. But before that, Thursday night football, Carolina Panthers winning the game on Thursday night, beating Atlanta Falcons 25-15. So, like I said, the NFC South is pretty much a mess right now. Like, you don't know what you're going to get from any of these teams. The Saints look kind of bad right now. Tampa's barely holding on as well, but now they got an opportunity that Atlanta lost. But Seattle, I don't know if they're going to beat Seattle. We're going to talk about that soon. But Panthers are pretty much done. But it was a big win for them. But that whole division is just, you know, oh my goodness, you know. So, but I mean, I still think Tampa's going to come out of it though. When everything's said and done, they're just a better team. Still got Tom Brady. I want to see how he looks this week though. Against Seattle in Germany. Everybody, you know, basically, he didn't say it, but everybody basically said now that he's through this divorce, he should see the old Tom Brady. So we'll see, because they've been relatively healthy. They was injured at the beginning of the season, but he got all his receivers. The running game has just been they been hurting them. So I think it's too much pressure on Tom. They have to set back there and throw the football, but they gotta get that running game together. They can get back on track that way. The defense been a little underachieving as well. So those two teams that come together, which is a highly possibility. Tampa would be fine, but this week I don't feel that good about them. But we're gonna talk about that soon. But yeah, the Falcons, like I said, the Falcons gonna, you know, they're not a bad football team either. You know, they decent. Mariota is a decent quarterback, but and you know, you just see them be up and down all year long. So, but this loss hurts them if they really thought they could win this division. But I still think Tampa's gonna win the division, and they be the only team in the playoffs from this division. Josh Allen, you know, everybody heard about Josh Allen being hurt. Will he play tomorrow? I'm starting not to think so. Now a lot of people say, well, what should Buffalo do? It's a PCL sprain in his elbow. I think they said he don't need the Tommy John surgery, or he chose not to get it. You always have a choice not to get that surgery. You can just rehab, I think. But if I'm Buffalo, now the AFC East, now that division as a whole has been a surprise, because you really thought Buffalo was gonna run away with this division. But Miami, definitely legit. How they play. Tyreek Hill has been a monster difference. Tua Tagovailoa, gotta give him his credit. He looks sharp as a quarterback. So the Miami ain't going nowhere. The Jets, like I said the Jets, when they played the Ravens in week 1, I said this team, it got a different feel to it. They lost that game, but you see now, we see here today, they 6-3, beat the Buffalo Bills last week. But actually both of these teams beat the Bills. I don't think the Bills played the Patriots. The Patriots not nothing to sneeze at. Defensively, they definitely going to bring it. Quarterback situation a little iffy, but still, they the Patriots. They're going to give you their best game every time. Bill Belichick's still over there on the sideline. So, yeah, you can't sneeze at any of these teams in this division. So, you can look at it both ways. You look at it, Josh need to play because they can't afford to lose too many games. And then you look at it, to me, look at the big picture, like, you don't think they're going to fall off the map, because he probably missed like 1 or 2 games. I think they got a bye week next week, so I think, maybe if you sit him this week, he'll be ready off the bye week. But if I was them, I would sit him too. I'll be thinking about the long term, the playoffs, and long term period. I think more about that. And I think we still, even if they don't have home field, because that's probably what it's about as well. In the playoffs, I think Buffalo, in the AFC, I wouldn't be afraid of no team going on the road and beating them. Now it'd be great that everybody will come to Buffalo for the postseason, but you prove you can go to Kansas City anyway, because that'd be the only other home field you probably don't want to go to. But they done it. Well, they won in the regular season. Now the playoffs, they haven't. But still, I think winning that game a couple weeks ago, they ain't gonna be afraid to go to Kansas City if they have to again for the playoffs. And nobody else, the South, where it's the Tennessee, and the Titans are up and down. It's really no standalone team. We thought it would be. Everybody thought the Chargers would be better, but they're struggling. Let's go to the other than the teams in their own division. Let's see, the North, the AFC North. Oh, well, the Ravens. If they wind up getting it, my Ravens, by the way. They're a dangerous team. And Cincinnati as well. But I think Cincinnati still a little inconsistent. But basically, none of those teams, it was like, oh my God, I don't want to go in for the playoffs. So I would think about it on that end, and I would probably send them this week and just have a rest of bye week. Rest them. Go ahead. If you lose this game, fine. At least it's not a division game or AFC game. So it won't hurt as much other than just the loss itself. But as far as like tiebreakers and stuff like that, it won't have a big impact on it. So I would send them this week, and if they lose, then they lose. But Case Keenum, the Vikings though, that he's serviceable. I think they can, if they keep him clean, now the offense would be a little different, because Josh Allen like to run the RPOs and stuff like that. But I think KC, you're familiar with Stephon Diggs. They played together in Minnesota. So this game, this is a big game. Well, we're going to talk about the game in a little bit, but I think that's the first time. I think Buffalo's at home. Yes, they are. So. But still, I think this is Diggs' first time playing against the Vikings, and so it's got a little, spiciness to this game. Other than the records that these teams have done well, Minnesota has been a surprise this year. A lot of people wait for them to fall off the map, but I think offensively they fine. Like I said, it's just Kirk Cousins. You can say what you want about Kirk Cousins. He played well, pretty much the last 2 years. It's that defense. The Vikings defense give you anything. They just as good as anybody in the NFL, let alone the NFC. So, but we're gonna talk more about the game. But if I was Buffalo, I would go ahead and sit Josh this week. Let him rest up. make a push for the rest of the season. So let's get into our picks now for Week 10. My screen went out. Sorry about that. Got my Big 5 games here on my notes. So I talk more extensively about those games. The other games I'm just going to pretty much pick, maybe give a quick comment and move on. So we just was talking about the Buccaneers and Seattle and Germany this week. So it's a 9:30 start. So football fans get an early game. I try to follow it. I'll be up working, but I try to follow this game tomorrow morning. This is on my Big 5 list. I think for both teams, Seattle, some people still don't believe in it. I'm starting to come around with the Seahawks and Geno Smith. Like I said, I was one of Geno Smith's biggest critics back when he was younger. But he's turned it around. He's playing good football. He seems like a humble person. I seen the interview on Fox. I think it was about a week or two ago. He's matured and shows in his play. And if you put him up against with certain stats, he's been just as good as any quarterback in the NFL this year. The Seattle defense has played pretty decently. I think they might win this division because the way the Rams look, I don't like the way they look. Cardinals are too inconsistent, and the 49ers as well. I think San Francisco, a lot of people put their eggs on the Niners, but they've been inconsistent as well. So I think if Seattle can win this game, this would definitely be a feather in the hat to move on and probably win that division. And I'm going to pick them to win this game because Tampa, to me, until I see it, they just ain't been consistent on the offensive end. The defense ain't been playing that well. I just think Seattle's just playing the better ball. I think it's going to be a close game. Buccaneers are favorite, but I'm going to go with Seattle here, and I think this is going to help them possibly win the NFC West now. I think Tampa with this loss, they'll be fine. I think they're going to get it together, but I'm not sure if it's going to be this week. So I'm going to go with the Seahawks to win. Huge game in the NFC because it could be like I said, tiebreaker implications and stuff like that. So I'm going to go with Seattle in a close one, probably by a field goal to beat the Buccaneers in Germany. Just talked about this game. Vikings-Bills. Bills are 3-point favorite. I forgot to put the favorite down. The line tells you, well, some people, I don't, like I said, that's why I don't like to really look at those lines and worry about the lines and stuff like that. But some people say the line is saying that Josh Allen's not going to play because they think the Bills should be favored by more than 3 points. But I guess I'm gonna pick Minnesota regardless, even if Josh Allen plays. Because I was gonna say, well, it'd be like me picking 2 picks, but I just think the Vikings. I think this game will prove that they're an elite team. I think it's gonna be close. I think it's gonna be another close game. Bills defense gonna have to step up big this week. Because if it is Case Keenum, I don't know how much they're gonna score. But I'm gonna go with Minnesota anyway. Like I said, I think this is a Dalvin Cook game. Gonna get into Dalvin Cook. Let him dictate the offense this week. I think the Bills a little bit, like I said, the Jets lost, and then now with the Allen injury, don't know how they practice this week and stuff like that. So I think Minnesota will squeeze it out, even if Josh Allen plays. I think they'll squeeze out this game, and I think this would be a huge confidence booster for the Vikings. Because, like I said, a lot of people don't believe in them. And this is probably the hardest game they had all year. Who they lose to? Dallas? I think they only lost to Dallas. Let me check that real quick. Who they only lost to? I think Dallas was the only team to beat them. So I'm going to check that. Yeah, I'm going to pick them to win this game. I put my confidence in them. But Buffalo, you know, they got enough to make this a ball game, even if Josh Allen don't play. Alright. Let's see. It took me to this back screen. I don't like this screen, but okay. Oh, Philadelphia, that's right. Yeah, I remember now. I think that was a Monday night game, right? Okay. So they basically lost to the best, well, for the record, best game in football. So yeah, but the rest of their schedule has been sort of easy. So that's why in my power rankings, I still got Buffalo ahead of them, even though they got 2 losses. Oh no, I got Minnesota above them. Yeah, I got them third. I got Buffalo fourth. I got them ahead of Dallas. Right, that's my power records. But so this game, you know, is big for far as my power records as well. So, but I'm gonna go with Minnesota regardless if Josh Allen plays or not. I'm gonna take the Vikings. Just think, like I said, just off of just Josh Allen probably not practicing that much. And I think he's still not healthy yet. So that's why I would just go ahead and sit him and just rest him on the bye week. Okay, let's move on. Lions at Bears. I'm gonna go with this is a tough one for me, but I'm gonna go with the Bears. They're at home. They've been playing better, even though they've been still losing. But you see, Justin Fields starting to get more comfortable. Detroit, like I said, the defense is just so bad, and like I said, the offense just ain't been consistent. So I'm gonna go with the Bears here slightly to beat the Lions on Sunday. Broncos Titans. This to me is easy Titans for me, even though I see some pundits even pick Denver to win this game. But like I said, Denver haven't been consistent enough for me on offensive. I love Russell Wilson. I think like I said, I think he's gonna figure it out. But for now, until I see it. But Tennessee, to me, like I said, too much Derrick Henry. I think sometimes hurts them. But I think he can carry them for the game like this week. So I'm gonna go with Tennessee to win that game. Jags at Chiefs. I think the Jags gonna give them a game. I really do. I think it's gonna be probably a high score game. I think Kansas City got, you know, just the better team. So I think they win this game. 9.5. Okay, 9.5 points. They might cover that. So they might beat about like 10, but I think it's gonna be like 31-21 or 34-24, something like that. But I think the Chiefs will win. Browns at Dolphins. This is an interesting game, but I'm gonna go with Miami. Like I said, Miami really starting to impress me. Tua has been playing very, very well. I seen the stat about him. The games he started and finished, they 6-0. All 6 wins Tua started and finished. They won the game. But the 3 losses, he missed 2 games, and then the game he got hurt in, they lost. So, long as he's played, they won. He's played very, very well. So, but I think Cleveland, like I said, Cleveland is that team that can beat anybody because of their running game. Like Nick Chubb is the true deal. If Deshaun Watson be anything he used to be when he come back, or maybe next year, Cleveland is going to be a problem. But I think Miami will beat them this week. I think 3.5 might be too low. I think they'd beat them by more than 3. Texans at Giants. Giants coming off the bye week. Giants was a team everybody, you know, fell back down to earth a little bit with the loss. But I think who beat them last week? Was it Tennessee? But I think they beat the Texans. Texans though, they're not no rollover team, but I think this might be a close game. Giants only 4.5 point favorite. Don't have no argument about that. I don't think they've been winning by about that much, by a field goal. So I think this will be a game, but I think the Giants just the better team. Saints at Steelers. I'm gonna go with the Steelers. Saints to me, like I said, just too inconsistent for me on both sides of the ball. I like the way Kenny Pickett has played, despite, like I said, Pittsburgh still been losing. But I think that defense, being in that environment, I think the Saints ain't gonna be able to handle that. I think Kamara have a quiet game. I think that'll be enough. Be a tight game, but I think Steelers win. New Orleans though favored by a 1.5 though on the road. Colts at Raiders. Colts, you know, everything that's been going on with them this week. They hired Jeff Saturday out the analyst of ESPN. So he's now the new head coach. A lot of people scratched their heads, so did I. I was trying to explain to somebody, like, you know, it's different. You know, being a coach ain't that easy. You can't just jump in there and just start coaching. But we'll see how that happens. Raiders had a weird year, despite, you know, got shut out that game against New Orleans. But I just think with everything going on with the Colts, I just think the Raiders have to, like, this, like, it feels like a must-win for the Raiders. It just does. You know, the high seat starting to turn up on Josh McDaniels, so I think the Raiders going to play well. They at home. I think they win that game. 4.5 favorite. Yeah, I guess that'd be about that. I think it'd be close though. Cowboys and Packers. This is one of the biggest games of the week, and this is on my Big Five. Packers, I'm not touching them. I love Aaron Rodgers, man, but and I know the talent ain't as great around them, the receivers, the tight ends, everything else. But now psychologically, he owns the Cowboys. I don't think he ever lost to Dallas. So, but this is not the same Dallas team. So, Cowboys defense is unbelievable. Micah Parsons and everyone else, Steph Diggs, everybody else has been playing very, very well. I think the offense found a little nick against the Bears. Started to use Des Prescott in the RPOs more. I think they probably limited him because of his injuries and things like that. So, but I think they started opening up the offense again. I think it's not that bad. I think Green Bay, they're at home. I think it's going to be tight. Not as tight. I think Dallas will pull away at the end. Dallas is a 4-point favorite. I'm going to go with Dallas. I just can't touch the Packers right now until I see Aaron Rodgers turn it around. It's going to be hard for me to pick the Packers at all. But this is a big game for Dallas. Eagles off this week, I believe. So, no, they play Monday night. But that Commanders game, that's not going to be no easy game for the Eagles. I think they beat them, but I think Dallas, if they keep winning, they can put the pressure on the Eagles to keep winning. So, but I'm gonna go with Dallas though. I just think the Packers. I don't know what's going on with the Packers. I just don't see them turn it around. At least not this week. But I still believe Aaron Rodgers. I still think somehow he'll figure out. I think they're gonna make a push for a playoff spot, but. And if they lose this game, it's going to be tough because he already had 7 losses. But he's been in these situations before. So off that, I don't think the Packers will be done if they lose this game. But it's going to be tough for them. Dallas, like I said, I like Dallas if the offense be more consistent and go along with that defense. A lot of people think they could be a contender in the NFC as well. So. But see, this is the type of games Dallas loses sometimes. You're supposed to win, you got the momentum going for you, then bam, you get smacked in the face. Cowboys fans probably know that all too well. So I'll watch this. I've been watching this game closely, but I think Dallas will pull it out. They just did the better team right now. So I'm gonna go with the Cowboys to go up in Lambeau and win. Okay, Sunday Night Football. Los Angeles Chargers at the San Francisco 49ers. This is my last Big 5 game as we almost through the schedule. Chargers just decimated with injuries. Justin Herbert's limping around. No Keenan Allen most of the year. Mike Williams, pretty much the whole receiving core is hurt. The injury to the safety. What's his name? James. So Chargers got injuries everywhere, but they still got 5 wins, so I give them credit for that. 49ers, like I said, 49ers just weird. Like, you look at this team, like, what's 4-4? Why is y'all 4-4? That's why it's like, I'm starting to lean on Seattle to win this division. I think San Francisco is going to be a problem, especially if they make the playoffs. They're 7-point favorites in this game. I guess that's fair because of the injuries to the Chargers. But the Niners, this is a game they should win. But this year, they flopped a little bit. But I'm going to go with the Niners to win this game. LA is just too beat up. Jimmy Garoppolo, can he be consistent? He's, been inconsistent. Debo's supposed to be back. They're going out with Christopher McCaffrey, which I think starting to seem like a steal at the end of the trade deadline. Will this get the Niners pushing, start to go on a little run? We'll see. And I understand why people is on the Niners. The talent, everything else that's going on. Jimmy just played consistent. Yeah, they're a tough day. Be a tough day to beat. Period. But we'll see Sunday night. Chargers, like I said, I give them credit for still being 5-3 despite all the injuries. But I think San Francisco gets them this week. I'm gonna go with the Niners. 7 points might be slightly too high, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do win by a touchdown, because that's basically what 7 points is. So I'm gonna go with the Niners though. I think the Niners will win. final game of the week, Monday night, the Washington Commanders at the Philadelphia Eagles. I just brought up this game. Philadelphia played very well, but to me, like I said, I was friendly argument with my friend on Facebook. Yeah, they undefeated, but you can see the little, just small little inconsistencies that they have sometimes. And Washington, to me, has been a fighting team. They all the stuff going well. We don't want to get into. I ain't even gonna get into the off the field stuff. What's going on with Snyder and all that stuff. I don't even want to get into all that. So, and I can imagine that could affect your football team. Robert Rivera is a great coach, so I think they can block out all that nonsense. But like I said, Tyler Heinicke. I like Tyler Heinicke, man. He's a fighter. I like any athlete that fights, that just don't quit. So that's why I'm saying this game could be dangerous for Philadelphia. They go in there a little lax, you know what I'm saying? And it's a division game. Division games always something to watch out for. So I'm just telling the Eagles watch out, but I think they'll win this game. Let's see what the line is. 11. I think it's going to be closer than that. I think it might be a touchdown, but I don't think Philadelphia's going to go in there and roll, even though they're at home and they off the bye week, so maybe they got some extra juice in them. But if I was a betting man, I would bet against that 11-point spread. But I think Philadelphia will win the game, though, and go to 9-0. So that's our picks for week number 10 as we done with that. Appreciate you guys, man, for watching, man. Not much. Let's look at the college football schedule, because I think it's some big games in college football. Just we ain't talking about no baseball today. Yeah, TCU Texas, that's a night game. TCU all week 4. I ain't been paying attention, but they 9-0. North Carolina, Wake Forest. Okay, so it's not that many top 10. Ranked matchups. Okay. Alright. Ohio State, they play Indiana. Yeah, so that's probably the biggest. Alabama, Ole Miss, that's big, because the loser. Well, definitely, if Ole Miss wins, that could propel them up. Alabama all the way to 9th. So, Washington, Oregon, that's a game to look out for. Pac-12. Okay. So, yeah, we got some interesting games. So, if you're a college football fan, especially Fox, they got games on all day long, I've seen. So, I might be checking some of their games out today. But Georgia, to me, is on another level than everybody else. The Georgia Bulldogs, they deserve to be number 1. I don't think they might win back-to-back. I think they might win it again. So that's another little tidbit. NHL, I don't really follow. I try to follow the NHL during the season. But if somehow somebody come out of nowhere and say, Troy, talk about the NHL, I do my research. I'm not a big NHL fan, but I do follow it a little bit. Since baseball season is over, we have more time to talk about other sports. So like I said, I might start talking about college football a little bit sometimes as well. So let me just get my final thoughts before I wrap up. It's already 10:20, so yeah, this video ain't going to post till about 11 now. So let me wrap this up. Like I said, days to come on the channel. God of War, Right in the Rock. I might go ahead and just knock a video out this morning. Modern Warfare 2. They're the 2 biggest things I'm working on right now. Like I said, my hard drive sucks. So, like I said, I can't. Gotta maneuver, gotta delete this, delete that, download this, re-download that. So there's been a little bit of a problem. More Sonic Origins. This been like Sonic Origins. Like I said, it's been definitely been propelling my channel. So I'm definitely not going to stop doing those videos. I might do a live. I'm thinking about doing another gauntlet of that. Maybe Sonic 3, because I don't think I did Sonic 3. But I did the story mode, which was sort of like a gauntlet. But I think I'm gonna do a classic mode gauntlet of Sonic 3 or something to that nature. So probably soon, probably in a few weeks, once I pretty much, because God of War, that's going to be around for a while. So and I want to finish. Well, it's not, like I said, it's not my sports weekend, but I did want to do a 2K video. I've been doing lives on Twitch. Definitely go check out my Twitch. I'm trying to do Mondays as well, or maybe one of the Mondays I do Maybe do my Madden on there, because well, I'm not gonna do it this morning. And then tomorrow is my work Sunday, so I ain't gonna be doing no content on Sunday. I usually don't do no content on Sundays anyway, because even when I'm off, I go out and try to get out of jail that I'm in with work. But that's it. But I just want to say thank you again. I admit I've been a little frustrated this week with a little bit of support, but you know, I'm not gonna get into that. We're gonna end this off on a positive note. I appreciate everybody that does support me, truly. Shout out to everybody, all my YouTube family. Appreciate you guys. Like I said, check out my community tab. Like I said, I do try to shout out some of the channels that I watch, some of the people that I'm interested in. I definitely call them out, shout you out. So definitely look out for that. My man, good vibes. Hopefully everything's going well, buddy, with school. Thanks for being a supporter. And with that being said, I'm going to wrap this video up. A little late today. Sorry about that again. The video should post around 11 a.m. It's about 10:30 now. I'm gonna get it together. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys this afternoon. I do God of War. I'm probably get on there and set the stage. Start to really get into it. I love you guys so much. Thank you for the support. Peace and love always. I'll see you guys next week for episode 210. Yeah, so the episode's starting to get long, huh? Troy West said, thank you for watching the Silentsports Gaming Channel. This is another presentation of the Silentsports video blog. Enjoy your week. Definitely comment below if you want me to talk about anything specific, or if you disagree or agree with something that I said. Definitely don't mind the dialogue. All my social media will be in the description. Peace and love, everybody. See you guys next week.